Wow. First time that we are meeting on a sunny, shining day. We are connecting from Pretoria East. I've got a boardroom full of queens that have come in this gathering of the queens as we are celebrating Women's Day today. I welcome each and every queen that has come this day to come on this table with our queen, beloved Queen Tammy, as she is leading us and conducting these master classes. It is like, wow, we are on week 10. You know, I had to leave the queens and come to my position that I have kept for the past weeks as I was introducing the queens. I couldn't sit on the chair. As I was telling them that, queens, I don't have a chair where I stay. And all these weeks, when I welcome all of you, I'm kneeling on next to my bed as I welcome you. So this afternoon, I will open a camera just to say hi to all the queens. Welcome, welcome. We are so blessed to have all of you here. And I know most of the queens are gathering around the tables of the queen that is hosting them. I'm blessed to have all the queens. I will be joining them back in the boardroom as we are connecting in one connection. So queens, we are on week 10. The race is on. It is happening. Sirendile. You know, those who are new that are joining us today for first time, they will know what we mean when we say Sirendile. As our queen beloved Tammy was sharing with us this Sirendile statement, where is it coming from? As I welcome her on the stage as a pioneer, a African daughter, African queen, we are truly blessed to be part of this massive, massive opportunities. You know, you can hear me. I'm saying opportunities, indeed, that have been birthed for us to come and partake. You know, we thank you, Queen Tammy Massey, for being such a generous queen who wanted to include all queens from all walks of life, whether you have money with you now or not. But we are forgetting our past and we are moving in this future that has been prepared for us. Therefore, as I welcome you, we give God all the glory for your life, and we are celebrating this day with hope and faith that indeed our lives have changed. We are no longer laughing stocks of the people who were mad, not having a direction in their life and purposes. Finally, we have found the God-given purpose that is really going to uplift other queens. I've once shared that, you know, when the vision is small, it is not from God. This vision is massive. It is big. Therefore, our God is big. And therefore, this vision, as big as it is, bigger than us, we will be able to conquer and we will rebuild the economy of this nation in the energy sector, as she has took us all this week. Some of us never knew what is the port of entry. You know, I have learned in these few weeks, and I've realized that I still have a lot to learn on the energy, economy of energy, the technology. That is all I'm researching these days. I send her some articles. I send her. That is the only communication I have, because I'm so excited to see that I am a part of a movement that is going to build the economy, because a nation without an economy, it is in poverty, in crisis. So the crisis has come with opportunities. Therefore, we are grateful and thankful and embracing these opportunities that have been given to us, and say we will multiply, we will steward every opportunity that has been given to us. We are not going to waste anything, but everything will be rebuilding the economy. Thank you so much, our beloved Queen Tamimase, as I welcome you, daughter of Africa, as we celebrate this day. We celebrate you, celebrate all the queens that have come and joined us from their homes. May we all celebrate it in this new hope, new future. Thank you so much. Over to you, my beloved Queen Tammy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Queen Chrissy, for such a warm, hearty welcome. Wow, as you've just said, it's the first time today that we're meeting during the day where there's sunshine, there's sunlight, where we are all bright, and in particular in this day. I'm very excited to be here, and thank you for making the arrangements to change from 6 p.m. to 2 p.m. so that we can all be here today. I do understand that there are many other queens that have gathered together today in one room. We have one group of queens in Umtata, we have one in Pretoria. Before I could start, can I please ask everyone who have gathered here today to open their videos so we can see who you are? I understand in Umtata there's 27 queens in that hall. I don't know how many queens do we have in Pretoria. Can we all see you, please? And we say hellos. I can see Queen Mamtembu there, Umtata, but I don't see the queens. Wow. I want to unmute you so we can hear your voices. The queens, you are muted. Thank you.
Hello.
Wow. Beautiful.
Right. That's right.
Wow. Welcome, queens. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. In Pretoria, can we also see the queens in Pretoria? Queen Chrissy, are you together with them? Can we see the video? Okay, Queen Gugu, I see. Let me just unmute you as well. Queen Monks, I have unmuted you. Can we hear your hi, please, queens? And how many are you joining in there?
Yeah. In Pretoria, 9 in Pretoria.
Wow, welcome, queens. Thank you for joining us in Pretoria. I hope you're going to enjoy this session. The Pretoria group is there. Is it your one, Queen Chrissy? Queen Chrissy, should I unmute you? All right. I would like to see other queens who have gathered here today to be part of this masterclass. Should I?
Queen Tammy, it is the same one that Chrissy is in, the Pretoria one.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, let me welcome you once again. Let us start. I'm excited today. I'm happy. I don't know how I'm feeling. You know, I feel like it's a brand new day with all brand new possibilities and opportunities. And I know that some of you is the first time that they're here today. You probably don't have an idea what we are all about. What is this Energy Masterclass? What are we doing? We are going to unpack all of that today and make sure that when you leave this masterclass, you understand exactly what we're doing and what could be your contribution in everything. Well, I understand that today is a Women's Day. And I just want to tell you one thing, that we are not changing anything. We are transforming everything. We are not here to change anything, but we are here to transform everything. You know, when we are talking about transformation, I always make an example of a butterfly. With a butterfly, before it becomes a butterfly, it's a caterpillar, it crawls, right? But now when it changes into a butterfly, we don't call that change. When you change something, it's something that has a possibility of you going back, or of it going back to its original form. But when you transform something, or when something transforms, it changes completely from one different form to a complete different form. For example, a caterpillar changes completely to a butterfly, and it never changes back to that original form. And that's basically what we are doing through these masterclasses. That's why I'm saying we're not changing anything, but we are transforming everything. We are changing everything into a shape where it'll never go back to its original form again. And that's what we're doing. And I do have a disclaimer before we start, so that you queens understand me as I continue with the masterclass today. I know that today is a Women's Day, because there are queens who walked on fire for us to have this liberation to gather and talk about our future. They fought before us battles that left most of them more broken and more scarred, right? So here is my disclaimer. I don't celebrate Women's Day. I don't celebrate any special day, because every day to me is special. I celebrate my women every day, because every day is a special day for my queens. Our fight is a daily fight, not once yearly. It's daily. So I just want to bring you back to the creation, to the original form. Before everything was created, God created the earth that we are living in now. For 6 days, he created everything we have. And on the 7th day, he rested and reflected to see that all was good and was ready for humankind to take advantage of. Now, we also work around the clock all year round, 365 days in a year, every single day. But we need to find just one day that we will use to rest and reflect. And probably most people use this day to rest and reflect. But now my question is, what are we resting on? What have we done for us to rest? And what are we reflecting on? So that we can look back and say, this is what we have done, this is what we have achieved. Everything that is being celebrated every day, it is the same thing. It is the fight of our women who walked before us. But now, that's in the past. We need to use that as a stepping stone forward. You know, we should be using such days for such to reflect on the day-to-day work that we are doing. The fight for now, the fight for liberation is a daily fight. We should be using the fight that our queens have gone themselves into in the past. So today we have nothing to really reflect on, because what is being celebrated today is what has been celebrated every single year after 1956. With hardly any change. Instead of increasing, the world recognition of women is decreasing, and it keeps decreasing. So what are we celebrating? Until we can say that the contribution and the participation of women in the global economy exceeds what is expected or exceeds expectations. Right now, we have moved from 3% in 2013 or 2003 down to 1.9% in 2023. That is how the world sees women. The World Global Fund only takes 1.9% of its fund to fund women ventures. So what are we celebrating today? Until we change that status quo. And once we change the status quo, then we will have a reason to celebrate. So right now, there is so much work that we still need to do, so much work ahead of us. And that is why we are having this masterclass today, to see what is it that we can change, where we can change, so that next year, this time, then we can be celebrating something worth celebrating. Right now, we should be celebrating that speaks to the future. We don't live in the past anymore. Those pieces that are broken or that were broken, we must leave them on the floor right behind us and look and march forward. Today we have our women broken and scarred. Today we have our men broken, damaged, and abused. They are abusing and misusing their hardship because they don't know any better. Because they have been told that men don't cry, that men don't have emotions, that if they cry, they are sissies. And now, what has that brood of our men? It is our duty then, as women, to make sure that we build, the scars, the wounds that are open up there, it is our duty to heal. We need to heal ourselves as queens. We need to heal our men. We need to heal our children. We need to heal our community. We need to heal the world. We need to heal. And until we heal, we cannot celebrate anything. Right now, as women are celebrating, we need to be asking ourselves so many questions. What is emancipation? What is liberation? What is freedom? Are we free? Can we consider ourselves free? You know, in the previous master classes, we've talked about so many things that we really need to know. So many things we need to take into consideration as we march forward looking into the future. Right now, we don't do anything that is being done in the present. Whatever is done now, it's too late for us to engage in. We're talking of the energy crisis. Yes, we need to come up with a solution, but we need to come up with a futuristic solution. In the previous master classes, if you have never attended, we have talked about the future of energy, the future of energy financing, the future of energy opportunities, the digital transformation and energy transition. We have talked about the blockchain technology. We have talked about the energy solutions. We have talked about how we need to arrive at that point where we say we are free. And now we're using this resource, which is energy, to actually take us where we need to be. We have talked about the energy tokenization. We have talked about the energy currency creation. We need to create a currency because energy right now is our new currency. We need to be talking about the energy communities that we are building. We need to be talking about the energy economy that we are rising. We need to talk about the energy metaverse that we are amplifying, that we need to partake in to amplify the energy economy globally, not only in South Africa, not only in the continental Africa, but we need to be talking about those things. We need to be sitting around the table. We need to be sitting around the table talking and discussing about those issues. That is the only time we can say we are free, we are emancipated, and we can celebrate. And we have the next 365 days from this time to next year. And this time next year, we should be talking a different language altogether. We should be singing a different tune altogether, where we say that, yes, we have acknowledged the queens that have fought before us. We have acknowledged the queens that have brought this emancipation and freedom for us. But now we have used that to take a step further in terms of building our economy. Everything right now is about economy. And in my previous masterclasses, I did mention that for us to build an economy, we need numbers, we need resources, We need the financial resources, we need our numbers, and without those, there is nothing that we can basically say that we have done, we have achieved. It's time for us to stop talking. It's time for us to start acting, right? And for us to start acting, we need to know what we are fighting, what we are talking about. And right now, we're not really fighting anything. We're not fighting back what was stolen, but we're building back what was taken. We are healing back what was broken. And it is our duty and responsibility as queens to do that. The world is waiting for us to start taking a stand and rising up to say that we are ready. We are going to do that. We are going to start building. Our work is to build. We were born to build. We need to start building. Our men need to lead. They can't lead because we have not built anything. And I want to address this question to parents and mothers of queens who have had kids going to school. How many of you parents or how many of you mothers that are here today that have ever had your child at school saying that they have swapped their school lunch, or part of their school lunch with anybody else or with their classmate? Probably 90% of our kids have done that. They've come home, Mama, I swapped my lunch with someone, not because they are hungry, not because they don't have anything to eat, but because they want to taste what's there in another person's lunchbox. I mean, it's normal, the curiosity of kids. But now, taking that, exactly what they were doing at that time, they were doing what we call, they were not just swapping their lunch, but they were doing what we call bartering, where they're exchanging lunch for lunch, value for value. That's an economy on its own. And now we need to build on that kind of an economy because that is our traditional economy. That is what we have been doing as a nation, as a human race, before we had the money. Before we had the resource called money, we were bartering. We would exchange something for something of value. And there's nothing much that you can do about your child, about that childhood. There's nothing much you can do about that childhood trade. We're calling it childhood trade. They are trading their lunches. And each one of them lacks something that is fulfilled by the other person. That's humanity. You can never have everything. What you have, there is something that you don't have that another person has that you need to swap with, and we need to build on that. Let's build on that. And it only takes knowledge for us to know where we are coming from and how we can move ourselves forward. So by the other time, as they do that, they probably might be tired of tasting the same food every day, carrying the same bread every day. They want to taste something different, and they want to, taste whatever it is at no added expense. They're not coming to you saying, Mama, buy this, but there's no added expense to you, but they've got what they wanted, right? And that's brilliance. That's brilliance at its best. And that's called creativity, where you are actually thinking, not only thinking about what can I, or where can I get money to get what I want? So that is what we should be really thinking every day. Every day, there is nothing much that we cannot do. There is so much that we can do. And there's so much that needs to be fulfilled every day without any extra expense, right? We need to swap our curiosity with something of value amongst one another. And that is why, that is where we will start creating community currencies, community economies. Economy starts within our communities, the ecosystem, everything starts from within ourselves. So it is safe to say that bartering is still very much active today. We see it happening in our schools every day. We see it happening, even in our homes every day, especially in the villages. why can't we continue with that? Before we had the hard cash to buy our own stuff, most of what we acquired through bartering, right? Now there's technology, and we can modify, we can innovate that system in terms of building an economy that talks to the present and that talks to the future, because we are not living in the past anymore. We are not there anymore, but we need to learn from the past so that we can pave our way forward. Right now, we're talking about energy, we are talking about technology, we are talking about all these platforms that decentralize electricity. So we can use the decentralization of these platforms that are using the technology like blockchain, like Web3, to enable us to trade electricity. And once we start trading electricity, we are already creating a currency. We are already building an economy. And that's basically what our masterclasses have been all about. We are now on the 10th one, and we are just going to summarize what we have been studying all this while. I am going to be sharing my screen so that if you have never been attending some of our masterclasses, at least you are not completely lost. You can basically see what we have covered, why these master classes, because some of you might just look at them as just energy information or energy knowledge that you need to know. It's more than that. It's a legacy. We are building here a generational wealth. We are building a generational legacy that will keep on even after we pass on. We are building this for our children. And as queens, we need to take a center stage right now. And we need to make every single day a woman's day. We need to be there for one another. We need to be supporting one another. There's no time. Let me just go straight into my slides and just summarize. We are not going to tackle on everything that we covered in the previous masterclasses. If you want to have or want to see anything in detail, you can go to our recordings. You will find our recordings. Right now, we are making things easier. You will go to our website, which I will cover, all the information, and you can go under masterclasses. You will see the masterclasses that have been covered, and you just click and click there. Just like Queen Chrissy has said now, he says, after these master classes, we know nothing better but to go and better ourselves and better our knowledge in terms of getting to know what it is that we need to do, we need to know to move forward and build. This masterclass has given birth to something totally different. It has actually given birth to a revolution, because now it has made us to revive our curiosity, to know what makes us tick as queens. And it has given us that sense of responsibility and accountability of knowing that we are queens, we need to build. And right now we are collecting all our resources so that we are getting ourselves ready to build. Queens, let me not waste any further time. I want to share my slides and take you through our journey, our 9-week journey into this 10th one today. And next week, we should be having our last masterclass. So if you don't grasp however much you can today, you don't want to be left behind. Just give me a second so I can start sharing my screen. All right. If you can see my screen, I would appreciate a show of hands so that I can begin to move forward. Okay. All right, I think this is it. All right, just a second, it's getting there. Thank you, Queens. I'm not sure whether the show of hands says you can see my screen. I hope that's what it means. Okay, I'm only seeing one show of hands, so I guess I will just continue. Okay, just a second. You know, this technology sometimes it gets the hang of us. Queens, I don't know now, it's not giving me an option to share. Okay. All right, thank you for your patience. Here we are. It should be showing on your screens right now. For some reason, it is rather very slow. I'm not sure what's causing it. Okay. All right. All right, Queens, I do believe that you can see my screen. I hope so. It is the first time that you are seeing this on the screen, wide. And I want to introduce to you our very new face. We know that our masterclasses are delivered by River Club Institute. And because this has been a journey of finding us and finding ourselves as queens, we now have arrived at a destination where we know really exactly who we are. We are women in digital energy. And because of that, we want to take this brand moving forward to the next year. That's why I'm saying today we are giving birth to something that we need to celebrate next year this time, where we're saying, this is what we have been doing. We are going to be running and flying from now on because there's no time. We don't have much time. And now we are wide. We are women in digital energy. So the masterclasses, the next masterclasses will be delivered by Wide Academy. And the Wide Academy means you as queens are part of that. So welcome to the Wide Academy Energy Economy Masterclasses. But now, what exactly is this? We call this masterclass team. We have been calling it team since its inception. TEAM stands for the Energy Economy Masterclass. We started in May, and we are having our last one next week. It has been a beautiful 3 months of learning, a beautiful 3 months of networking, of building relationships, of supporting one another as queens. It has been beautiful. It has been a very beautiful journey. And so this masterclass, as I said, is brought to you by Women in Digital Energy. And that is what we will be celebrating on the 31st of August in our recognition award ceremony. We will be celebrating our women in digital energy. Why are we saying we are digital energy? We have the electricity from Eskom right now that comes from fossil fuels, which is coal, and that has been the traditional electricity that we have known until the energy crisis. Right now, the whole world is looking towards renewable energies, is looking towards clean, green energy, and that is called digital energy because it does not use tangible resources to generate. It uses something that you cannot touch, the sun, the wind, so we're using technology to harvest the energy or the electricity. That's why it's called digital. But we go beyond that kind of digital. We are going to digital spaces where we are taking this energy into digital spaces because the whole world is moving and shifting towards digital spaces right now. And we need to tap into that. So whatever solution that we are bringing through these masterclasses, it is a solution that talks to the future. It does not talk to what is happening right now. We need to be asking ourselves if we are coming up with solutions of installing electricity or energy into households and businesses, what then? What happens after? What happens after everybody has been powered up? This is what has brought us here today. That's why we are having endless load shedding today, because someone failed to ask that question. That what if the population grows? What if the demand grows? What happens to the supply? Are we going to be able to keep supplying even when the population grows beyond what we expected? Nobody looked into that. But nobody asked that question. So we are asking a question today. We are asking a question of the future. What happens in the future when everything is done, so that we don't stumble into the same problem today. And that is why we are making use of the digital spaces so that we bring those kind of solutions that are needed. Well, we are having these masterclasses because we want knowledge, right? They say little knowledge is very dangerous, and we can never attempt to do anything if we don't have complete information before we attempt doing that. We made an example of a pilot cleaner who went into this airplane, saw this booklet and read, oh, okay, if you want to fly a plane, press this button, and he started doing that. And he did not read the entire book. And only when he has gotten himself out there and up high there, now he wanted to know how to land. And now the next message was saying, if you want to land, go to the nearest store and get volume 2. How is he going to get volume 2 when he's up in the air? So what do you think would happen to him? He would crash, and he crashed. So we don't want to crash. That's why we are getting the information, all the information that we can find, so that we don't find ourselves crashing. So we are gathering knowledge through these masterclasses so that we are ready to take this journey. And by the time we reach 2024 August, then we should be talking a different story altogether. Our presence should be having an impact in our communities and in the global economy. And why are we having these masterclasses? We want to empower women with knowledge. We want to enable them to participate actively in the energy space. And we want to help them build the energy economy in the digital spaces, and that is why we are having these masterclasses. And now here is the question. You want to ask yourself, what am I going to gain other than knowledge? Yes, I'm going to get knowledge, but what am I going to do with that knowledge? In these masterclasses, we bring you information, we bring you opportunities beyond the renewable energy, opportunities that will help us bring and build and rise our economy. And that is what we are giving to you. And that is what you will be taking home with. So after these masterclasses, there's one thing that you always take away. It is the knowledge of knowing that now there is what is called an energy economy. There's an economy. We know an economy, right? And we know what built an economy. What built an economy is the numbers and resources. You cannot build any economy without, numbers. You need as much numbers as you can find. And you need the financial resources. And that's what is going to build the economy. So now here we are we are basically building, in particular, the energy economy. So when you go out here, then you will know exactly what that energy economy is. With every economy, we have, you know, what Queen Chrissy mentioned earlier, the port of entry. You cannot build an economy without proper controls of your port of entries. Your port of entry can be anything from the sun, the land, the sea. Your port of entry is basically your borders, you know, your physical borders. It is where trade happens. It is where money is made or lost. You know, through your port of entry or through your borders, that's where you can import and export commodities, and whatever it is that you export or import, it will determine the rise or fall of the economy. And if your ports of entry or your borders are weak or they are not controlled, there is no economy there. And now we have examples here of African countries where they have received loans from foreign countries. They have received those loans against a collateral, which is backed by resources, by a country's resources. And one African country backed their collateral with their port, their physical port. Unfortunately, they failed to pay and China took over. Now, when China takes over that port, they take over the entire economy. They control the economy. We don't want that. So now, as we build this energy economy, we need to make sure that our port of entries are controlled and are managed. But now our port of entries are not the physical ones. We are in the digital spaces. The whole world is shifting towards those spaces. So now we are faced with yet another crisis of digital port of entries. Digital port of entries, because now you can buy anything from your phone without it touching any borders. It gets delivered to you via your phone, digital assets, digital products. And the digital economy right now is surging. You know, it's reaching trillions of US dollars. And if that is not controlled, you know, it can triple the economy. So we are at the right space at the right time where we are saying now we can build our energy economy using the digital spaces and controlling our port of entries at the same time. But we cannot control something that's not ours. You can control only something that you own, something that is your own. And we have built those digital port of entries, which are in the form of social media spaces. As we may understand, our social spaces are the source of everything that can build or that can break the economy, because that is where everybody is. Our children are in those spaces and they are being fed filth by the media spaces and the social spaces. And we need to clean up those spaces, build our own and control and manage them. And also manage what goes in and what goes out of those port of entries. We have our Roll It platform that is our port of entry that we use as our social spaces, where now we are able to dictate what goes into our spaces and what stays out of our spaces. And now using those digital port of entries helps us to be able to close our ears away from the noise. You cannot build anything if you're going to be listening to every Tom, Dick, and Harry about what you're doing. You can only build something when you know what you want, sit and plan and execute, implement without anybody, as long as you have faith in what you're doing and you know that you've got all your planning in place. Whoever else comes in and says you cannot do it. How many successful people do we know out there who they have been told that they are useless, who they've been told that they are not brilliant, who they were told that they would amount to nothing? They are billionaires today. Why? Because they close their ears away from the noise. Even in these spaces that we are in, we will hear so many things that as women cannot do. or we are told we cannot do. Close your ears away from that noise, because that's not you. We are here finding ourselves, finding our strength, and finding each other in building this tribe. So as you leave the masterclass today, you will be leaving knowing that there is something that you are accountable for as a woman, that you are responsible for as a woman. You're responsible for building, because that's what you were born to do. You will be leaving here knowing that there are energy opportunities, because talk is cheap, right? We cannot be talking all the time. Every single year in, year out, we are talking with no results. We cannot be doing the same thing every single day and expect a different result. Now we are talking of the information, the knowledge that we are getting, and we are also talking about opportunities that will act or that will action what we are talking about. Now, these are the opportunities that help us start the building work. You will be leaving this masterclass knowing that there are digital energy platforms that can be used to harvest energy, to manage energy, and to trade energy, because that's where economy is. And that is when now we can say we have built a queendom that is going to be generational, that is going to feed into generation after generation after generation. And now let's talk about who our partners are. We have Rollit, Bioscope, Rollimate. Those are our digital port of entries. We are following in the footsteps of China. China has been a devastated country for years, for hundreds of years. They started building a physical port of entry, which was the China Wall, which goes for thousands of kilometers to protect themselves physically, but that just didn't work, because now there is the digital spaces that are creeping in. They needed to protect themselves from that as well. So they built yet another wall, which is now their digital port of entry, which is called WeChat. And when they built WeChat, they closed down everything that was going to step on their way. They closed down your WhatsApp, your Google, your Facebook, your everything, your YouTube, cleaned out everything. And they were left with their own, very own. And today, WeChat, China has over 1.4 billion population, and over 80% of their population is using their platform. Because we can't run away from the fact that we need to communicate. And communication now is only digital, right? And we need to communicate with our customers. We need to communicate with our families. We need to communicate with everybody. And we are using this resource or this platform. And we cannot continue exporting our numbers to Facebook, to Twitter, to YouTube, for them to make money with us, because as we give them our numbers, we are strengthening their economy, not our economy. And as we give them our numbers, we are strengthening their currencies. Africa alone has 1.4 billion people. And if you count in our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, it comes to 1.7 billion, because we have over 350 million African brothers and sisters in the diaspora. We are 1.7. We all are exporting our numbers to these platforms, and we are letting them dictate to us how we need to live, how we need to use our monies, how we need to use our brains as well. We are letting them educate us and fill us with their filth. It is time to say no. That needs to stop. It's not okay to just be okay. We are not okay with that. We cannot be. As queens, we cannot be okay with that. So with these platforms that we are talking about, our Roll-It platforms, already we are able to go in and chat like as we do on Facebook. We are able to meet as we do on YouTube, as we do on Zoom. We are able to share our videos as we do on YouTube. We just need to gain confidence and faith in our own platforms and start using them, because everything is active and everything is working. We don't lack anything. We've got everything to start moving. We have Wipfin. Wipfin, who is a fintech company and a 100% subsidiary of WIP Invest, which is Women in Power. Women in Power is two-pronged. It means women in power in terms of position and also women in power in terms of energy. It was established in 2018, and its main mandate is to empower women in this entire continent. And we have an audacious target where we say we want to empower at least 1 million women by 2030. 2030 is too far. Maybe by now we will have doubled and doubled that number, because we need to empower at least 1 million women in each country in Africa. So we still have a lot of work to do. And now the WIP Invest, we have our own energy project, which will be commissioned through the River Energy Solutions across Africa. And we will be having the information empowerment that is delivered now with Women in Digital Energy, which is Wide Academy. So we have all those resources that belong to us as queens. Now, what we do with those resources rests on our shoulders. But at the end of the day, we need to do something to make sure that our economy is built. How do we participate in these opportunities? We have 3 categories where you can participate. You can participate as a shareholder, where there is minimum and maximum shareholding that you would need to invest. And what are the advantages? The advantages are that if you just want to be a shareholder, you don't do any network building. You don't invite anybody. You just invest and sit back and let the money work for you. But the disadvantage is that you only benefit from the shares and nothing else. And yet there are so many other benefits that we are bringing into the table or on the table for all of us as queens. And we have the second category, which is the builder. The builder is one of the most crucial package that we should all be thinking about. As a builder, you invest by upgrading, you build a team, and your team can be in 2 or 3 or 6 generations. And this is where I think we all need clarity on. Here on the 31st, we are having a recognition award ceremony that will be celebrating our queens right from this masterclass who have managed to build tribes, who have managed to build teams, who have managed to lay a hand in what we are doing, because here we are building an economy, and economy needs numbers. There is no way we will build an economy by just investing and folding our arms. But we all know that we don't have the same strength of going out there and building, and we respect that. And we want to be inclusive with every limitation that we have as queens. But those who have the strength to go out there and build, we are saying now we are going to incentivize them by giving them the rewards. And the rewards are very beautiful, because now it is something that's going to propel you to work even much more harder and further. Remember, here we are building something new, something that has never been built before. Of course, we are going to have some pitfalls. We are going to fall. We would need to rise together. That's why we need unity amongst ourselves. And there's nothing the world fears the most like the unity of women. Once women unite, the world knows that they will put a dent in the universe. And now that's exactly what we want to do. We want to unite, support one another, and start building. This is a very crucial category because it enables us to do just that. It enables us to start building, to claim back the numbers that we have been exporting to all these platforms, claim them back and bring them home and start building. Now, the advantage of this one is that you will benefit from everything. You will benefit from the projects that are on the table. You will benefit from the awards and the gifts that you will be getting from the awards. You will be benefiting from the investment that is being done on Triba. I know that we have queens that are still struggling to redeem their investment vouchers on Triba. We are going to get into that. All I want to say is do not panic. We have all the time. We will help you out. We will sort you out. We will make sure that everything is in order. And we just want you to understand that as we all know that this is new, we are building it together. We are going to stumble and fall together. We are going to rise together. We are going to do this together. But at the end of the day, we will do this. We have no choice. Right now, we have no choice because if we do not use these opportunities, we will never have any other opportunity. I want to believe that energy is probably the last resource we will ever see in this continent. All the other resources that we have had, they have been taken away. They are depleting right now. Our gold, our diamonds, our platinums, our everything is getting depleted. If it is not depleted, it is stuck somewhere in a collateral, because almost every country in this continent has a loan that it has received from outside. And every loan has been backed by a collateral. And every collateral has been backed using the assets of that particular country. So can you see how much is at stake here? We don't have countries in Africa. We don't have a continent. We have a shell of a country. We have a shell of a continent. We are walking on eggshells right now. We are walking on something that could crumble anytime. And that is the truth that we need to understand for us to have the urgency and the speed to build. We don't have time, queens, and this is our time. This is our time to start building. And for us to do that, we need to believe in our very own. We need to believe in our very own abilities and capacity so that we can together move forward into building this. So now here, the only disadvantage here is what? You have to build the network. You have to build your own network to qualify for all the ranks, to qualify for all the benefits, and to qualify, for the projects as well. Now, let's go to the third category, right? The third category, which is category C, is the harvester. Now, as the harvester, you are that queen who says, I don't have money, I want to participate, and I can build teams, but I don't have the money that I can use to invest. So we will be introducing an ad. We are partnering up with an advertising company that will be using to harvest, our earnings from it, where you watch a video and you are able to earn from it. No more will you be running away from ads now, from adverts, because they will be paying you and they will be paying for your investment. But now the advantage is that you will benefit from everything. The disadvantage is that is going to take so much time. It can take 10 months. It can take a whole year trying to raise that. We don't know. It can take even lesser. It can take months. We don't know. That depends on how diligent are you in terms of using the platform to earn. But do you want to wait for that really? Because by the time you have the money, maybe the opportunities might not be there anymore. So you want to make it a point that you do whatever it is now, so that you are part of these opportunities now before they are gone, because nothing stays forever. But what are these opportunities, you may ask? The opportunities that we are talking about, yes, you are ready to invest, yes, you are ready to be a shareholder, but now what are the opportunities? What is at stake here? And right now, we are talking of a solar powered data center. Remember at the beginning, we talked about the world moving to digital spaces. There is a lot involved just in that statement. That statement means that every industry is going to operate within the digital spaces. You go to the bank, you want a simple bank statement, you are told go to your phone. You want anything from one of the government offices, you are told go online. What does that tell you? It tells you that the digital space or the digital world is not coming. It is here. We are living right in the midst of it right now. And it is up to us to embrace it and do something about it, or to be in denial and deny that it exists. Because if we deny that it exists, then we are running ourselves in a danger of being left behind. And catching up is very expensive, because at the end, you have to catch up. We cannot run away from that fact that you will need to catch up. By the time we catch up, it will be too late. And that is why we want to think from the future today, so that when that time comes of what if, we have all that covered up. Now, here we are going to the 31st of August for the awards. And this project is one of the projects that is going to help you get into a space where you need to be now, not in 3 months, not in 6 months, not in 12 months, but today. How are you going to do that? We have a project that's 2.4 billion worth, a solar powered data center, which will be the first in this country. We have, from this 2.4 billion, we have 250 million set aside for community upliftment and development. How is that done? We currently have tickets now for the events. We have 3 categories of the tickets currently. We have the first one, which is 500 Rand, that will give you access to the event and the networking opportunities. We have the second one, which is 5,000 Rand, that will give you an opportunity to have a project worth 500,000 Rand. And right now we're running a promotion until the 16th of August, where you are going to get it discounted, 10% discounted. So which means you're getting it for 5,000, for 4,500 Rand. And that ticket will give you a share of the project. There are no terms here in terms of what you need to do before you get that project. As long as you buy the ticket, you're guaranteed of a project, right? But now there is a combo package that we have. You can get yourself a ticket and at the same time invest for shares, because this is what is going to happen, right? After the project has been commissioned, then it's going to start creating and generating revenue. So if you buy your ticket now and get that project, your work will be to deliver on your project and make your own profits. And that's it. It ends right there. If you take the combo package where you buy a ticket and invest for 1.5, then after the project has been commissioned and it starts generating income, you are guaranteed of dividends every single year. What does it take for you to take the combo? If you happen to get your ticket now for 4.5, then you will need to invest for 1.5 for shares, which is 6,000 Rand. So if you have 6,000 Rand, then you've got your income for life, for yourself, for your children, and for the next generations to come. And this is what we're talking about when we're talking about the future. We're not only talking about now, and this is what we're talking about when we say we want you as the queens to come and join in and be part of these opportunities. We are done talking. We are actioning our talks right now. We are talking the talk and walking the walk. So that next year, this time, we are celebrating something tangible, something that we can see, where we can go to villages, where we can go to people and say, this is what we have contributed to our people, because this 250 million worth of opportunity is going to empower so many people. If you receive this project now for 500,000, you will employ not less than 10 people. Now imagine 10 times 500, 5,000 jobs will be created just through this. And on top of it, you are a shareholder. You benefit continuously. This is what we're talking about in these spaces, queens. These are the opportunities we are bringing forward to you and saying, let's come, let's work together. Here is another one. Now, if you decide you want to invest and be a shareholder, we have WIP Invest, which is the Women in Power, the holding company for WIPFIN and Triba and all these other subsidiaries, has 20% shareholding from Mandroli. Mandroli is an electric vehicle car that has been funded in 2021 by the African Diaspora Central Bank for $9 billion worth. And once this Mandroli division starts running, operating fully, you will be part of a shareholder in that. You will be receiving dividends from this as well. You know, and these are the things we really need to take advantage of now, because they will not be there forever. If you go now to your Google and Google Mandroli Auto, you will see in the news, you will see the kind of people that are involved in here. You will see the partners that are involved in this project. You will see the kind of instrumental and influential figures that are backing this project. We are not talking about a pie in the sky here. We're not talking about building castles in the air. We are talking about something tangible. And it needs you and me to embrace and really build forward. These electric vehicles will be using energy, and we cannot continue operating and manufacturing cars that will add into the problem. First, we need to fix the energy crisis. And once the energy crisis has been fixed, then we can go back into our original form and start manufacturing these cars. And that can be in a space of a year or two, if we work together in terms of, you know, combating this energy crisis. So let's work on fighting the energy crisis and bring back the operations of these cars, so that now we manufacture something that's going to be used where there will be no challenges of electricity at all. And I must add that this Mandroli, the entire interior of the Mandroli is going to be mushroom leather. What does that mean again? It means that there is yet another spin-off that is being created from this. Because now, if the interior is mushroom leather, it means we need farms, we need farmers, we need satellite farmers who will be planting this mushroom. We need plants that will be processing this mushroom. We need people, fashion designers who will be designing these car seats, who will be sewing these seats. You know, we need a whole lot of things. So can you imagine the opportunities that we have in our hands, and all of these being driven by queens? The Mandroli EV is the first in the world to be founded by women. Not just Black women, but by women in general. It is the first. So can you see here, queens, we are writing history. We are writing history in every single way. That's why we are saying, you know, if you are embarking on a train, on a moving train, you need to know that it's too late and disembark, because you're not going that way. We're not following the trend. We're not following the crowd, but we are creating our own trends. We are pioneering and letting people follow. We are leading in these electric mobility opportunities. And we need to use these opportunities while they are still existing, while they still present themselves, because there will come a time when these opportunities will not be there anymore. We also have yet another one that belongs to the family, to the WIP family, the resealable can. This has never been done in this continent, where you have a can that is resealable, where you can drink and seal it back until leak. And the water that we use, we don't use water that is generated from the normal sources that we will be using water that is air generated. The water is harvested from air, pure air that we breathe using the sun. That is another innovation altogether. And that is the first as well. And again, we are pioneering, we are leading, we are creating the path. And we need you to come and be part of this. Let's hold hands, let's work together, let's build this moving forward. Actually, I want to show you something. I want to show you these can leads. I have one of them here with me, but let me just finish with this presentation. And you see, that's what we have. And now we only need you to come and be part of this, right? And if you decide you want to be in category B, or you want to be the builder, and this is what you need to go through, you need to build all those generations. We are having the top 50, where you need to build at least 6 generations of 5 people each. So you only need to invite one person a day for 5 days, and you're done. 5 people, that's all you need. And once you invite 5 queens, teach those 5 queens to do the same until you reach 6 generations. It's easier when you think of it like that. And you can be in the top 200. With the top 200, you need to build 4 generations, right? Of 5 queens each. And we also talk about the top 300. In the top 300, you only build 2 generations of 5 queens each. And that is what we will be talking about in the coming awards. We need people who will qualify under these. So it's very simple. To be in the top 50, you build 6 generations. For example, if you now have 5 queens under you, those 5 queens will invite 5 queens each. So there will be 25 in the next generation. Those 25 queens build 5 queens each, 125 in the next, 625 until you reach the 6th generation. And that's how you build. So from next week on the 16th, since that's going to be our last masterclass, we are going to be announcing queens that have managed to reach some of these ranks. And from the 16th, we will be announcing queens who will form part of the queens who will be awarded or who will be receiving awards on the 31st of August. So you have 1 week to push yourself as hard as you can. Push yourselves harder, queens. You can do it. It's in you because you are a builder. That's what you are. And now what is needed is for you to believe in yourself, believe that you can do it, and believe that it is within your capability, your ability to build. And here, you're not just building, you're inviting queens to come and partake from these opportunities. You know, when you have something good, or when you see something good, or when you are part of something good, you also want the next person to know and be part of that. So the only thing you do is you tell them that this is the opportunity and this is what you need to do, because in the next phase, this opportunity is not going to be there. Maybe there's going to be more that is needed from you. So you are at a perfect position where you become the foundation of what is being built right now. So the 500 queens that we are looking for 500 queens who will come and be the foundation of what is going to rise our continent. We are building a continent here. We're not only building a country, we're not building a South Africa, but we are not only building our local communities, but we are building a continent. And next year, this time, we should be talking something totally different. We should be talking numbers of how many people we have empowered with these opportunities. We should be talking about how many queens we have empowered with shareholding. We should be talking about all of that. We should be talking about institutions that we have created. Do you know that capital is concentrated in 5 industries? It's concentrated in your banking, insurance, retail, pharmaceuticals, health industry. And who owns that? Do we own it as the Black nation? We don't own any of that. Look at the insurance space. You can only be a broker, but not an underwriter. Why is that? We need to get into those spaces. Look at the banks. How many commercial banks do we have in the country? And which of these commercial banks is owned by Black people? Look at our Reserve Bank. How many shareholders does it have? And how many of those shareholders belong to this country? Over 50% of shareholders are people that are not South Africans, you see. So there's nothing we can do about that. That's why we're saying we're not fighting what was stolen. We are building what has been taken. So let's build our own. Let's build our own communities. Let's strengthen the economy of our communities and build what we can own and build what we can use for our generations to come. And yeah, as I say my goodbyes at the end of this, I want to remind you, queens, that this is what we're looking for. This is the prize that we are looking for right now after this 3 months masterclass. Next week marks the end of our 3 months masterclass. And at the end of the month, we will be going to Johannesburg to receive these awards. Are you one of those queens who will be receiving these awards at the end of this month? We are only left with 3 weeks before we meet in person. I cannot wait to meet every one of you in person, congratulate you, recognize, your work that you have been doing. And I also want to share, let me just stop my screen right now. Thank you. This is what I want to share with you, queens. Here, all of you that are here because you answered a call that said, we are looking for queens to come and be part of this beautiful journey that we are really getting ourselves into. You answered that call and said you are ready, right? And now that you are ready, there was transparency from the beginning, right? Where I said to you, this is all we have. I'm putting everything on the table for all of us. These are not mine anymore. I was just being used as an instrument to deliver these to the table. I am putting everything on the table. And now what I want to say to you is take the baton, run. Now you will be seeing that there are queens who have been given more responsibilities already. They are given responsibilities because they did not ask for permission to engage. They came and they offered. Here, there is a ripe ground for every one of you to come forward and offer what you have. Come and offer what you have. And you will be given your space, We will listen to you. We will work with you because we want to build this. This is ours, queens, not anybody's. It's time you claim. Don't underestimate yourself. Never ever think that you're not good enough for these opportunities. Never think that these opportunities are meant for somebody else and not you. Every one of you right here, you belong here. Every one of you here has the right or deserves the right to be part of this. Remember, we are looking for 500 queens that will be shareholders in all what I have shared with you today. So I am inviting you this moment, whether you are new or you have been with us from the beginning of our masterclasses, I'm inviting you to take this seriously and take it further and go and build those teams right now. We are on the race towards the 31st of August. I'm excited about that one. And we want to see every one of you there. There's 500 seats. Only 500 seats available at the event. So what you need to do is run. We have just opened now the window for you to get the tickets. There is a promotion that we are running currently that ends on the 16th of August, where you get the 4,000, where you get the 5,000 ticket at 4,500. This is what it means. If you cannot afford the 5,000 Rand, you can club together, group yourselves into small clubs. For example, you can group yourself in the club of 10. And if you are 10, which means each one of you contributes 500 towards the ticket, right? And if you cannot afford that, you can afford 250 Rand, then you can group yourselves in groups of 20. Be 20, and each one of you contributes 250 for the ticket, and you get yourself the project of 500,000 Rand. What else do you want? Now here, no one can say that I cannot afford. No one can say I don't have that money. We can all afford 250 sitting here. So in your groups, from this moment after this masterclass, go back to your groups. Ask who wants to be in the group of 10s, who wants to be in the group of 250, who wants to be in the group of 500, 1,000, two and a half. You can be 2, you can be 4, you can be 5, you can be 10 or 20. It doesn't matter. What matters is your part. Whether you get in using your 250, because this is the beauty of it. Let's say now you are 10 and each one of you contributes 500 for the ticket. You get a project of 500,000 and you make a profit. This 500,000 does not mean that it is your profit 100%. That's a project value. You will have to you will have to deliver on the project and maybe say make your profit margins of 20%. I'm just making an example. That 20% is 100,000 that you will divide among the 10 of you. That's 10,000 Rand each. You contributed 500 Rand. You see, and then you can use the 10,000 to come and invest in the shares, in more shares. Remember, we have a cap on shareholding. The minimum is 1.5 if you want to invest in shares, and the maximum is 15,000 Rand. So now you are at a space where you can afford to pay and invest for your own, investment. So this opportunity, nobody can say they cannot afford. We have tried to be as inclusive as possible. Now we are saying the baton is in your hand. It depends on you, on what you do with it. We have done our part. We are waiting for you. We are really waiting to welcome you. And remember that from the 16th of August, the ticket is going up to 5,000. So you want to make sure that you get all your tickets now before the 16th of August, and you are ready to meet us on the 31st of August. We will be ready to meet with you. Queens, this has been an exciting journey. What we received from here it's beyond expectation. It's beyond what I personally expected, because when I started these masterclasses, I just wanted to impart knowledge, because I felt that we have our queens who are sitting, not really because they don't know what to do, or they don't want to do anything, but they just don't have the knowledge in terms of what it is that they can do. Right now, we are not in the energy space just like anybody else, or just like everybody else. We are unique in a way because we are not only thinking about installing solar systems. We are thinking beyond installing solar systems. We are thinking beyond a space where we are saying, how are these managed in a digital space? How do all these industries come together and converge in the digital space at the center of the energy? And we are right at that center, where now we are building that economy and helping every industry to be part of the entire global economy. We can do it, Queens. We have already done, exceedingly already, and we can even do more. And I love the unity that you have shown, the support that you have shown one another. And if we can keep up that spirit, we will really go far, Queens. And I want to say thank you once more. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the representation. Thank you for all the Queens who have managed to leave their homes and gather together in one space so that they can inspire and support one another and uplift one another. I am waiting, Queens, if you are new today, I am waiting to see you come. Please be part of a group that will be buying that ticket. Make your mark. Have your name right here, right now. We only have 7 days to make it, right? We have 7 days to make sure that we secure our space. And we are telling you now, we are starting with our campaigns, but we wanted to extend this opportunity to you first before we can take it further to our other people. Because once we put this on social spaces, and the campaign, the tickets might run out very fast. And you want to take this opportunity now before the tickets run out, because you don't want to miss this opportunity. This opportunity might never come again. All right. Thank you so much. I am very excited about all the possibilities. I am excited about everything that is happening here, and I am going to open the floor to question and answers. I'm going to give over to my dear Queen Monks, to take over the Q&A session. Thank you. Queen Monks, if you can raise your hand and I can start unmuting you, I would appreciate that.